ask you 100 very personal questions that you have to answer. I am going to write them down, your answers, just so we have proof, evidence, just for fun. Definitely don't see anything nefarious in that. It's just a simple video to make you fall asleep and have beautiful, beautiful dreams. There is nothing else in that. Nothing. No hidden motives, no hidden, things. So, can we move on to that? Are you prepared mentally? Okay, it's very easy. Just answer the question. Nothing nefarious. Everything is okay. So what's your usual wake up time on work days? What's your usual wake up time on work days when you are going to work or school or anywhere? School. We know. Okay. Good answer. Do you prefer early shifts, late shifts, or steady 9 to 5 routine? Do you like steady routine? Interesting. Okay, perfect. How long is your commute? And what's the most common thing you see on the way? How long is your commute? And what's the most common thing you see on the way? Interesting. Okay, I'm gonna write this down. It's good that this is getting recorded. Sorry, I didn't tell you that, but it is. Do you work mostly indoors, outdoors, or mix? So do you work mostly indoors, outdoors, or sometimes indoors, sometimes outdoors? Yeah, that's if you're happy, that's the best. Is your workplace noisy enough that you notice your ears ringing after a long day? Do they give you like protective things? Ear muffs? Are they muffing you? They should. You should call like government to check on them. You couldn't, okay. Okay. Do you have to wear any specific uniform or protective gear at work? Do you have a uniform and the protective gear? Yeah, you can have ears, eyes, sometimes in big collectives, in mouths. So there can actually be something done. Especially in one gender collective that I'm not going to say. Are safety goggles or gloves part of your normal routine? Putting them on. Is that part of your normal routine? Okay. Do you ever come home with a work smell on your clothes? Like oil, metal, solvent, plastic? This sometimes happens, You should have a really uniform that you go into if that's in your work. So do you ever come home with a work smell on your clothes? Perfect. Great answers. Thank you for being so transparent. What's the one part of your job you could do with your eyes closed? One part that's very easy. Interesting. Do you work at a desk on your feet or constantly moving between stations? Okay. You at least get some workout, body Do you work more with people or with machines? More with people or with machines? Now, industry is very machine dominated. Now with machine learning, no people will probably be needed in 5 years. So, okay. Are there quotas, targets, or numbers you are expected to hit? Are there any quotas, numbers that you have to hit to be like productive member of the team and society for building the company? Okay, does your job involve repeating the same task many times per day? It's like monotonous. Yeah. Okay, do you get breaks at fixed times or whenever your workload allows? You have like fixed breaks or... Okay. Yeah. Okay. Do you usually eat lunch in canteen, in break room, or outside? Outside it's not. I prefer outside if I could. Of course, not in like hot summer or cold winter, but in like most of the time, outside is just the best. It has some appeal, some feel. What's your go-to work lunch when you don't want to think? Just grab some bite or something you like, something that you always enjoy. Okay. Do you carry a badge, keycard, or ID to access different areas in your factory? Do you have key, ID, key? Okay. Are there parts of your workplace that are restricted to certain stuff? Like maybe IT or security or electrician, serviceman? Okay. Do you ever have to pass through gates, turnstiles, or security checks? Like do they pat you down? Like if you don't steal something, for example. Thank you for being so forward with that. It doesn't happen all the time. Have you ever had to do a drug, alcohol, or safety compliance check for work? Are you working drunk or drugged? No. You're a perfect worker. Great. That's how it should be. Do you work with small parts that can easily get lost? Yeah, sometimes that happens, like small parts, but they are very expensive and they can get lost, Lost, like on the island. Do you know about island? Yeah. Do you use tools daily? Screwdrivers, torque drivers, pliers, calipers, anything? Do you use it daily? Okay. Do you ever handle delicate components that require careful touch? Do you ever need something like that? Okay. Do you have any training related to qualify, control, or inspection? Any special learning, a book, studying, improving? Okay. Are you the type to notice tiny imperfections immediately? Like you're really like perfectionist. You don't like when there's something like a little bit off. Okay. Do you ever sign off on a final check before something ships out? So you have to, in this big position. Okay. Does your work involve packaging, labeling, or preparing items for transport? serial numbers, batch codes, or traceability labels? Do you ever scan barcodes as part of your workflow? Does it happen sometimes? You have to scan barcode to okay. Does your job involve keeping logs, checklists, or documented procedures? Writing a lot of stuff sometimes, some people have to do that. How often do you have to follow strict step-by-step instructions at work? Step-by-step, it needs to be done this way, otherwise everything is messed up. If you change something, anything, it's... Okay. Do you have a workstation that's yours, or do you rotate? It's only yours, or sometimes this, sometimes this. Okay, perfect. Do you work on an assembly line or in sales teams? Do you ever have to troubleshoot jams, misalignments, or machine errors? Okay, perfect. Are you more of a fix it now person or report it properly person? Fix it now or report it properly so it gets fixed, Okay. Do you ever do maintenance tasks or only production tasks? Sometimes, if you want to repair a machine, okay. Have you ever had to learn a new machine quickly because someone was absent? That's annoying, isn't it? Sometimes, when you're the only capable person. Do you feel like your job is more physical or more technical, mental? More physical, you feel tired from job. Okay, do you work with electronics, wiring, or connectors in any capacity? Electronics. Perfect. Do you ever do soldering, crimping, or cable management? Okay. Do you know what ESD precautions are, and do you have to follow them? ESD precautions, does it tell you something? Okay, that's enough, Have you ever worn an anti-static wrist strap at work? Those little straps, anti-static, so you don't fry electronics. Yeah, that's common. Yeah. Does your workplace have clean zones where dust is a big concern? You have to clean yourself from the dust and go through there's special ventilation, in that episode in Breaking Bad, when they had that lab and they had to the fly episode. Okay. Do you ever work with adhesives, sealants, or resins? Sealant. Do you ever have to wait for something to cure, set, or dry on a drying rack? Do you work with plastics, molded parts, or lightweight composites? Nice. Do you ever see carbon fiber looking materials in your day-to-day? That texture of carbon fiber, it's very strong, but a brittle material. And light, very light, strong, brittle, but light. It's good for skills and many other stuff, guitars they make. Okay. Do you handle batteries or battery-powered components at work? Something that requires electricity but not plugged into. Perfect. Are charging stations or battery racks a normal site where you work? Batteries, charging stations, something to charge, something to power. Primo. Okay. Do you ever have to test something by turning it on and observing behavior? Does it sometimes happen that you have to watch something behave in the physical world? Does your work involve any kind of calibration or alignment step? Okay. Do you use measurement tools like calipers, micrometers, or gauges? Gauges, not couches, gouges. Okay. Do you ever do fit checks where parts must match perfectly together? Like it needs to fit, like the precision. That what you like to see in your TikTok reel, like something fitting perfectly in the hole. Do you ever hear the phrase tolerance in your workplace? Not in HR, but in workplace, in the real workplace. Okay. Do you work with motors, actuators, or moving parts? Does your job involve noise testing or vibration testing? Like you have to put something that it's vibrating and it doesn't fall apart. Perfect. Do you ever do functional tests that involve movement patterns? Functional tests that involve movement patterns. Do you ever run items through a test rig or test stand? Items through test ring or test stand. Okay. Are cameras, sensors, or optics part of your work environment? Cameras, sensors, optics, microphones, maybe even. Do you ever handle tiny lenses, modules, or sensor housings? Do you ever see GPS, antennas, or radio-related parts at work? GPS modules, antennas, antenna. Okay. Do you work near areas where devices are paired, synced, or configured? Many devices get synced to some servers and Okay. Do you ever use tablet phone app to test or configure a product? You often have to sync it to the product and to maintain it, maybe update something. Okay. Does your workplace have an area for prototypes or not for production items? Where they develop something new, something exciting, something. Okay. Do engineers and technicians interact closely where you work? Are they going to the... Okay. Do you ever get unusual, urgent requests like, we need this built today? Somebody comes and we need this built today, this badge for... Oh, okay. Do you ever hear internal code names for products instead of normal names? So internal, you are talking about XPS or 821, but the final product is something different. Okay. Does your work involve anything that gets field tested outdoors? It's supposed to work outdoors, have proper seal, weather seal, and battery efficiency and so. Have you ever been asked to keep details confidential, even from friends? Have you ever been asked that it's, oh, thank you for sharing that with me, don't worry, this is just a normal interview? Yes, there is no problem. Perfect. Do you avoid talking about your job at social events because it's complicated? Okay. tiny scratches on your hands from small parts, like micro scratches, sometimes when something doesn't. Do you find random screws or bits in your pockets after work? Okay. Do you ever have to wear ear protection at work? Okay. Does your workplace have warning signs about moving machinery or pinch points? Pinch points, it's gonna pinch you. Do you ever use compressed air to clean dust or debris of equipment? Do you ever use compressed air? Do you work in a building with large vents, fans, or constant airflow noise? Very well ventilated. Does your job require you to stand under bright overhead lighting for long periods? You have to have lots of light. Do you ever do night shifts? And if so, how do you recover? If you do night shifts, it sucks, isn't it? I don't like it either. Do you have a work playlist in your head for repetitive tasks? Like something that you do automatically. Perfect. What's the most oddly specific skill your job has taught you? Most oddly specific skill that nobody else probably knows because they didn't work. Okay. Outside of work, do you prefer quiet places or busy city spots? Okay. Do you spend time on rooftops, balconies, or high viewpoints often? Rooftops, balconies, some high landmarks. Do you notice birds more than most people do? Do you like watch them a lot? Do you watch birds a lot? Do you ever feed pigeons or do you avoid them completely? Like in a park, throw them something. I noticed that they never eat it, but okay. What's your opinion on pigeons? Are they cute, annoying, or think they are like misunderstood? Okay, that's good explanation. You can write it down in the comments. Have you ever had a job where wings or feathers were mentioned, even metaphorically? Wings, feathers. Do you ever see flocking behavior discussed in your workplace or hobbies maybe? Oh, interesting. Do you like hobbies involving tinkering like RC, drones, electronic kits, model building? Those tiny, models of things. Have you ever assembled something that's meant to look natural but isn't? Something that's supposed to mimic something natural but it isn't natural. Have you ever done that? It's fun, isn't it? I think you would be very good at that. Okay. Do you enjoy puzzles where the real purpose is hidden behind normal questions? You do. I love those. If someone asks what you make, could you describe it in one sentence? What you make, and not lying at all. Do you ever feel like your job is part of a bigger system you don't fully see? Like, sometimes with the rise of capitalism, that was one of the critique of Marx, that's probably the only valid one, that the artistry really disappeared, that people make tasks now in the work. They never, if you are IKEA worker, you are making just one chair, but you never assemble the full chair. You are just making the leg, and back in the time it was very inefficient, but every chair was an artistry, an unique artistry. Yeah. What's the strangest thing you've ever been asked to keep off the record? You can tell me. That. Don't worry. You have to worry about anything. This is approved. Perfect. Do you work with any kits of units that get tested, then approved, then released? Units, unit that gets tested, approved, released. Do you ever see items grouped in crates or racks like they are waiting to go live? Go alive. Do you ever hear co-workers joke about their watching or surveillance, even sarcastically? They are watching, surveillance, and phrases like that. Does it happen? Sometimes, often, sometimes. Have you ever had to sign an NDA for a job? Non-disclosure agreement, that you cannot say anything, basically. If your workplace suddenly shut down for an inspection, what would you assume happened? If your workplace suddenly shut down for an inspection. Okay. If you had to pick, are you more production, testing, or troubleshooting? Okay. And if I ask you directly, whether you work in a facility that produces robotic pigeons, do you laugh immediately or pause first? Are you creating robotic pigeons that are infiltrating our world and watching us? I know that.